What up? What up? Late night with BDD. Hey, what's up, you guys? Happy Monday, everyone. Is this thing on here? Can you guys hear me all right? All right. I see Dana from South Jersey, Cindy C, Bernadette H, Samantha McIntyre. Dana from South Jersey, I haven't seen in a minute. Scott Samuelson, Peter is a boss, Tina G, Veronica Tello. Did I say Bernadette H? Scott Samuelson, Shell Paulette, Ken Gardner, Kami Izago. What is it? He's deleted. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Punxsutawney Mo is here. Let's see, Monique Lee. Ellie says she must admit she thoroughly enjoyed Elon's meltdown today. We're going to cover that and more. But first, let's get this graphic up here so you can see what today's show is about. And in fact, let me just turn this down a bit there. Okay, so the title of today is either Elon versus Apple, Kanye, Fuentes, and Trump, or Elon, Kanye, Fuentes, and Trump. I did not see that coming. What do we have on tap for tonight? First up, I want to remind you all that this Wednesday, I have a I have a very special guest. It will be Noel Kasler. Noel Kasler, I'm sure by now you've seen his tweets all over the place, all over the Twitter. He is a former staffer at The Apprentice, The Celebrity Apprentice, and he's seen things. He knows things. I met him at that White House shindig, the nerd prom at the White House, and we got to talking, and he's got a lot of stuff to share. You don't want to miss this episode. It's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. I love it so much. What else we have on tap tonight? Kanye is running for president, and I can think of crazier things that happened, but not many. Trump had a conversation with a Nazi or two. Not that one, but one, and he refuses to apologize for it because that's Trump, and he doesn't want to offend his base of Nazis. And last but not least, we have Elon Musk, who's decided that he wants to throw down with Apple. That's Apple, because he's a little bit butthurt that they're not spending money on ads on the new alt-right Twitter. That's his thing. And before I go any further, I want to thank our moderators. You guys keep this show running so smoothly, so thank you for the work you do to keep the conversation going and to keep everybody stress-free. I appreciate you guys. Okay, so how was your Thanksgiving? Mine was lovely. I enjoyed it very much. For me, Thanksgiving is all about family, food, and football, in that order. And I did have my fill of delicious food. I'm not a big turkey fan. Never been big on turkey. What's up, Yusuf? I see you there. Ken Gardner is there too. Cindy C. Cha-Cha, there you go. But yeah, so I'm not a big turkey fan. I do like chicken. I do like cranberry sauce, the kind that comes in the can, where you can see the impression of the can on it. That stuff. I know Horse Whisperer, our friend Mike Goodenough, he is also a fan of that. Me too. Stuffing. I'm a big stuffing fan. I love me some stuffing. Yams. yams. And so wifey hooked up all that shit. And we also had pie. We had pumpkin pie and blueberry pie. And it was great. It was great. That damn Alaskan seems to be very happy about Oregon State beating the Ducks, and all is right with the world. I just thought I would share that. She seemed very, very excited, so it seemed important to share. You guys know wifey and I are both in the same fantasy football league, so it's kind of cool now. When I watch football, wifey's watching with me, right? And she knows, like, when she first came here, she didn't really know much about football. Now she knows. She does her own research on the players that are injured, the players that are trending upward. I'm really, really proud of her. I'm not just proud of her because she's understanding, she's comprehending, but she's kicking ass in our league. She's in second place right now. And actually, after tonight, she's tied for first. Why? Because I am like far out of contention. I'm number 8. I'm 8th in a league of 14 teams. But I did manage to beat the guy who was number 1. I beat his ass. I beat him. I was just gonna, honestly, if I'm being honest, and I'm always honest with you guys, I was gonna tank my team so that I could, lose intentionally, lose the rest of my games for the rest of the season, so I could finish at the bottom. When you finish at the bottom, you get to draft, earlier. I was gonna do that, right? But gotta help wifey. so there you have it. And so she's in second place. I'm very proud of her. I'm rooting for her 1,000% now. Come on, let's do this. Okay. So before I get onto the news bits, I like to review movies and or TV shows that I've been watching. And yesterday, my son and I watched a movie that I have been anxious to see for a very long time. It's called Smile. It is creepy as hell. If not evidenced by, if this picture is not creepy to you, then I don't know what kind of looks you're getting out in the street. It was creepy as hell. And so in this movie, if somebody's looking at you like this, some really nasty shit is about to go down, right? Creepy, evil shit. And the promotion, the social media promotion for this movie was really effective because they had actual people. I think some of them might have been actors, but some were like regular people. Let me blow this up on the screen here. These are real people at sporting events. And the camera's focused on them, and they've got these creepy smiles. You see the guy standing up on the right and the woman in the neon shirt on the left giving that creepy smile look there. So what's this movie about? It's this woman here who is not smiling. She's the main character. And she is a therapist. And clearly, like halfway through this movie, she actually is in need of therapy herself because she witnessed somebody committing suicide. And I don't want to spoil too much, so I'll leave it at that she saw, after she saw this person commit suicide, then she started seeing more and more crazy shit. Now, a lot of this, much of this didn't make sense to me. Like some movies you have to turn your brain off. You have to just accept what they're giving you. They got some creepy music. So the audio, the sound effects in this were very effective. I thought the visuals were very effective. But there was a lot of logical lapses, as is the case. Like the best horror movies now have the stupidest people as the protagonist, right? And part of the thrill, I guess, the fun of watching a horror movie is judging the bad decisions that these people make. Half this movie, I'm looking at my son. Why would she go in there? Why is she explaining this like a crazy person? Why didn't she calm down just a little bit? Just take a breath. Don't sound like a raving lunatic. That's the thing. In these movies, when people are trying to explain the craziest thing, to rational people, don't explain it like a crazy person. Calm your ass down. If you want to be taken seriously, don't be like screaming and frantic and anyway, love the movie. Love the movie. It was entertaining. If you watch this and you say, Brooklyn Dad, this don't make any sense, don't blame me. I'm just telling you, if you wanted a good scare, just shut your brain off and enjoy and watch. And speaking of shut your brain off, America will have to shut its brain off, right? If they are going to take seriously a guy who lost many millions and millions of dollars in endorsements, was booted off of Twitter, although I think he's been brought back to Twitter. I think he's got a Twitter account again. He was lost his lucrative deal with, what the hell is it? With Adidas. And I mean, the guy was even kicked out of Skechers. You have to be, like a horrible person to be kicked out of Skechers. I mean, they wouldn't kick me out. They kicked Kanye out. And so apparently now when you fail upwards, the next logical step is run for president. And that's what Kanye is doing. I mean, he is such a shit show. It started off before this tweet, but this tweet really was the end of him, I think. This is the one where he talked about going DEFCON. Wait, was this the DEFCON? Yeah. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3, which isn't even a thing, DEFCON 3. And then he finishes that sentence with, on Jewish people. What? You could have put any ethnicity, any race, any religion in there, and it would be just as wrong. Why are you targeting anyone, any group of people with whatever the hell DEFCON 3 is? If you're trying to prove to America that you are insane, congratulations, you did it. You did it. But I don't think he's insane. I think he, in his mind, imagined that there's no such thing as bad publicity. Well, you're proving that adage wrong, because there is bad publicity, and this is about as bad as it gets, I think. I don't know. Maybe America has enough hatred in its heart that he'll get a sizable chunk of the vote. When I say sizable, I mean like, I don't know, 5-10% maybe. If he gets 10%, I will be really, really sad for America. I'll be devastated if he gets 10%. I expect somewhere between, honestly, 2 and 5%. That's all. No more than that. No serious person is forgiving him for this shit. None. And then he went and hired this jackass, Milo Yiannopoulos. You guys familiar with Milo Yiannopoulos? Known pedophile? Yeah, he's hired him. And here's a message that Milo posted on a website called Gab.com. If you're not familiar with Gab.com, just imagine like the worst people you could ever know. White supremacists, racists. That's their Twitter, basically, Gab. And he wrote here, Nick and Ye didn't discredit. This is Milo Yiannopoulos, the guy he just hired to, I don't know, help run his campaign. Veronica's asking, he is still around? Yes, he's still around. And this is what he wrote here. Nick and Ye didn't discredit Trump's 2024 campaign with that dinner meeting. When I say Nick, he's talking about Nick Fuentes. I'll go on. Trump did that himself by having the most boring, low-energy announcement speech in history. He did it by continuing to suck the boots of the Jewish powers that be, who hate Jesus Christ, hate our country, and see us all as disposable cattle, according to their holy book. I don't need to read any more of that shit. Honestly, like, you're a fucking pedophile. Who do you think you are, looking down on anybody because of their religion? What? How is he even allowed to be around respectable people? I don't understand that. And Kanye, you could just hire all the worst people? You got yourself a Nazi and a fucking pedophile? What else is there left at the bottom of the barrel to scrape? Oh, man, I've never seen such a complete and thorough self-own as what Kanye is doing right now. He calls himself a genius. How is this genius? So there is Kanye in a picture with Nick Fuentes, who is a neo-Nazi and a Holocaust denier. You have to have your head fully all the way up your own ass to deny that the Holocaust, to deny that 6 million people were massacred, were slaughtered by the Nazis. Come on. And anyway, so Kanye brought this jackass to meet with another jackass on Thanksgiving. So, you know, on Thanksgiving, President Biden was meeting with first responders in Nantucket. President Obama and Michelle Obama were doing what they do every Thanksgiving, and that's feeding the homeless. They do that every Thanksgiving. What was Trump doing? Meeting with an anti-Semite, a pedophile, and a Nazi on Thanksgiving. It's kind of perfect in a horrible way. And it's been, I don't care if you did, if at the time, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say Trump did not know that Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist / Holocaust denier / Nazi. Let's say he didn't know all that, but he did. Is nobody getting within 50 feet of a former president of the United States unless security 100% fully vets that person. Okay? That's just fact. He is, we taxpayers are paying for his Secret Service detail. And his Secret Service detail has to ascertain who is a threat to the safety of the person that they are appointed to protect. So there's no way Nick Fuentes got near him without him knowing, Mr. President, that there is a Nazi. It's a Nazi. That guy right there is a pedophile. That guy right there is a rapper, but he's also anti-Semite. Donald Trump, back when he first declared that he was running for president, he attempted to pretend not to know who David Duke is. and was nobody buying that shit either, except for the media. For some reason, the media gave him a pass on everything. But we know he knew who David Duke was, because back in 2000 he was saying things about David Duke. He was talking about David Duke by name. So yeah, he knows who David Duke is. He knows who Nick Fuentes is. He knows whenever he says he doesn't know who that person is, he knows who that person is. He knows who that person is. So, let's see. So he met with Kanye, and I can't confirm this, but what I heard was that Kanye went in there with the intention of asking Trump if he wanted to be if Trump wanted to be Kanye's running mate. Everything you know about Donald Trump, you got to know that's a non-starter right there. You have to know that. I mean, what? It couldn't possibly be true. I mean, actually, I don't know. As crazy as Kanye is, I can picture Kanye looking him in his face, deadpan. No smile, no smirk, just telling him, I'd like you to be my running mate. What do you think? You have until 5 minutes. You have until I finish eating this cracker to make up your mind. I saw that in, what the hell movie was that I was watching? Wifey and I were watching. You have until I finish. Oh, no, not a movie. It's a TV show. Damn, I'll do it the next time. There's a TV show with Sylvester Stallone called Tulsa King. And he makes a deal with this weed grower or something. And he says, by the time I finish this cracker, you have to tell me what your decision is. It's a great show, The Tulsa King. Tulsa King is on, I think it's on Paramount. It's Paramount TV. It's good show. Anyway, not long after Kanye's visit, Trump posted this message on his Truth Central. Yeah. Excuse me, before I go any further, let me just address that damn Alaskan's comment here. How about the pillow moron running for RNC chair? That's hysterical. I love it. I love it. I love it. We're talking about the pillow moron. That's Mike Lindell. Apparently, Mike Lindell has Trump's blessing to run against Ronna McDaniel as the RNC chair. Why would I care about this? Because it's the RNC. That's the Republican National Committee. You know, that's a position. As crazy as Ronna McDaniel might seem at times, she ain't crazy. No, she's not. She's not Mike Lindell crazy. She's practical crazy. She'll say the things. She'll throw red meat to the crowd kind of thing, but she knows what side her bread is buttered on. But Mike Lindell, that dude is like on drugs crazy. He's loopy. That dude is insane. And I think that will help to accelerate the destruction of the Republican Party. So I love it. The Republican Party has to be destroyed. It has to implode. It has to. And when I say that, let me just be clear, right? When I say that, it's not that I think that America will be better with just the Democratic Party. Absolutely not. Nope. I will never, ever say that. Actually, I might say that. But when I say it, I mean the Republican Party as it is currently constituted with the madness. Let's go back to the Republican Party, how it was in the 80s and the 90s, where they were still motherfuckers, right? But they were rational. At least they were rational. They passed the they passed the ban on assault weapons in the 90s. Okay? So they were assholes, but, somewhat rational assholes. So Mike Lindell got my full support. Love it. I love it. Where was I? Okay, so this was Trump's message about Kanye. He says, "So I help a seriously troubled man who just happens to be black." Why are you even saying that? Everybody knows that Kanye is black. And then he says, yay, in parentheses, Kanye West. For the uninitiated, for the people who don't know. Kanye West, who has been decimated in his business and virtually everything else. I'm not even sure he wrote this, because decimated, that's a 4-syllable word. Is he? And who has always been good to me by allowing his request for a meeting at Mar-a-Lago alone so that I can give him very much needed advice. Why is advice in quotations? Let's go on. He shows up with 3 people, 2 of which I didn't know. The other a political person who I haven't seen in years. I told him, don't run for office, a total waste of time, can't win, fake news, went crazy. Oh, Donald Trump is unhinged, and maybe a little bit might have something to do with Kanye's visit. Still, I mean, how hard is it? How hard can it possibly be? Oh, Scott Samuelson thinks that Stephen Miller wrote that. Thank you. How hard can it be for a decent person? Yeah, I mean, the word decent person to just flat out denounce Nazis. How hard? Is there that big of a constituency? Is the Nazi representation in America like in the neighborhood of 30 million people? Huh? Is that how many Nazis we have here, that you are fucking walking on eggshells and you cannot denounce them with your whole chest? Come out and call a press conference and say, I denounce with my whole being Nazis and white supremacists and anybody who thinks that they're better than anybody. How hard is that? I just did it. That's my press conference. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Any questions? You over there. Yeah, my answer is I hate Nazis. So yeah, but Nazis is Trump's. Here we go. Fine people on both sides. Nazis are Trump's very fine people. Thank you for that, Scott. Thank you for that. Oh, purple 12334 says he won't denounce them because he is one. Yep. So that's part of the reason why I think he's unhinged. The other part of the reason, it could have something to do with this guy here. And by now, I'm sure you guys all know who this is. This is the recently appointed special counsel, Jack Smith. Jack Smith has quickly cultivated, not by his own doing. It's just like he's got a fan following right now. There's people who are big fans of him. He hasn't done anything. Actually, I can't say he hasn't done anything yet, because he actually did spend Thanksgiving writing to the 11th Circuit, talking about Donald Trump's bullshit, basically. Now, when it was first announced that Jack Smith was going to be the special counsel handling this case, I was not enthusiastic at all. In fact, I was Um, I had the exact opposite reaction. I was like, this bullshit. You're just handing it off to somebody. The clock is going to run out. Like I try to be as half full a guy as possible, as much as possible. I like my glass to be half full. But that day, my glass was half empty, because I've been watching this show for like 4 or 5 years, and every time it seems like we think we got him, we ain't got him. And this just seemed like, chapter 17, we ain't got him. And it'll be Jack Smith. God forbid, let me knock on wood. But, my concern was Jack Smith was going to take over. And after a lengthy investigation, and thousands of pages and documentation, blah, 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 he was going to call a press conference and say, ladies and gentlemen, we ain't got him. That was my fear. And it still could happen. I don't want it to happen. It's just my fear. And maybe it's an irrational fear, but it's a very real fear. I've seen over and over. And yes, I know Robert Mueller's probe was then interfered with by Bill Barr. And we all now know that Bill Barr was operating as Trump's fixer, not as America's attorney general. So there's quite a few people out there that know a shit ton more than I do about the law and legal processes that are very excited about Jack Smith. So I'll shut my ass up and I'll sit on the sidelines and I'll watch the proceedings and see how things go and do what I do best, which is tweet and Twitter about shit. Speaking of tweeting and twittering, Elon Musk is another guy who is an actual billionaire as opposed to Donald Trump, but he's an actual billionaire who also appears to be unraveling at the seams. And people, he's got legions of devoted bootlickers. If you just go on any one of his tweets, there are people shamelessly saying, oh, you're the best, Elon. Oh, anything you create, I will buy it. I love you so much. Like, can you be my daddy? I love you. Elon Musk appears to have figured out the craziest way to light $44 billion on fire. I don't know what the hell he thinks he's doing, but he's recently said that he is basically going to allow everybody who was banned for one reason or another back on the platform. That means, that means very dangerous people with ill intentions, so long as they stayed out of legal trouble. And what, you're going to go through those millions of accounts to make sure that, account Jack 1236789 was not arrested for anything? No, he's not doing that. They're not running any legal screens on anybody. They're just going to open up the floodgates and let a whole bunch of Nazis and hateful, horrible people back on the platform. So naturally, people who have enjoyed Twitter for a certain amount of time, people who have found communities like we've found communities, our own community here on Twitter or whatever, we found it. And very, very wonderful people we have found. And, it's already pretty shitty. It's just gotten murky. When I post a tweet, usually I'll see, 7 out of 10 replies will be, people that I'm familiar with, and now it's the other way, and the other 3 out of 10 will be trolls. Now it's the other way around. 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 replies are trolls. That's what's happening now. And the folks on the other side are like, well, now you know now you know how it's like on our side. Now the playing field is even. No, it's not. Actually, it's just Elon has put his finger on the scale, but for the other side, right? He is artificially amplifying them, right? Don't artificially amplify anybody. Just let us figure things out for ourselves. Let things go back to the way they were, right? And no, does that mean I want an echo chamber? No, because I didn't have an echo. I've never had an echo chamber. I've just had tweets that I put out that people who tend to agree with those thoughts and ideas more often than not are the ones that are commenting. Now it's the exact opposite. You know, it's like taking a black person and just dropping them in the middle of a Ku Klux Klan meeting. That's not going to end up well. It's not. You just know it's not. Anyway, so this since this jackass has been tinkering and futzing around with Twitter, lo and behold, he has lost 50 of the top 100 advertisers on Twitter. They have left the platform. 50 of 100 of the top advertisers stopped advertising on Twitter. That's a big deal. That's half of what was paying for Twitter. And I'm sorry, that little $8 verification experiment, that ain't cutting it. That's not making up for all those advertising dollars. It's not. And then today we find out that that Elon messaged or found out that Apple had stopped advertising on Twitter. Surprise, surprise. Why? They don't want their they don't want their products associated with the toxic the toxicity of what Twitter is becoming. And sure, Apple has had its issues aside from this, you know, with the child labor, almost virtually like slave labor in China, you know, and human rights offenses and all that. Apple, you got some shit to account for. But we're just dealing with this tiff that you're having with Elon Musk right now. And so they don't want to advertise on Twitter. So what? That's their prerogative, right? And so all these trolls would like to say it's a private company. They can do whatever the hell they want to do with their money. But Elon Musk is now taking affront to this. Mr. Free Speech doesn't like it when people decide not to spend their money on his shitty ass platform. So now he is threatening. Then he heard that Apple is considering pulling Twitter off of the App Store. Now, what will happen if Apple pulls Twitter out of the App Store? I mean, that is the death. I think that will be the death of Twitter. Not immediately, maybe 3 to 6 months, maybe. That's a serious deal. There are 2 main platforms that you can download Twitter on. One is Apple, the other one is Android. I don't know, is there a third or fourth one? I don't know, but those are the 2 main ones, Android and Apple. And yes, Geocosmic Valentine, that is huge if they do that. But you guys realize that I still like Twitter. Believe it or not, I like the concept of what Twitter is supposed to be. I like Twitter pre-Elon Musk. Huh? That's what I like. Twitter pre-Elon Musk interfering with how it's operating. By the way, I am on post now. I put my name on the waiting list, and they sent me an email probably 3 or 4 days ago, and I hopped in, and guys, post is actually kind of nice. Oh, okay. So Rice Cassidy, excuse me, let me just interrupt. Rice Cassidy is curious, wants to know, what are these blue wrenches here about? The blue wrenches, those are all moderators. Moderators. And you might be wondering, why the heck are there so many moderators on this channel? Well, from time to time, not often, but every once in a while, we'll get a flood of angry trolls, and those moderators just help this show to keep moving along smoothly. So, where was I? I was talking about Elon and the Twitter, and Post. Post is I've posted maybe about eight or nine things so far. Not one troll reply. Not a one. Hey, Pam Ham, I haven't seen you in a minute. Shell Paulette, you too. Yes, all these guys are finding their way back to the show. Nice to see you guys. It's nice. Also, color pictures look, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but the color images look fantastic on that thing, Post. So I'm there. It's like post.news/mmpadellin. That's me there if you're looking for me over there. But I really honestly would prefer not to migrate over to Post. You know, it's good to have it there. And right now, out of all of the different platforms that I've seen come out so far, I think Post is probably the most promising. I can see that functioning as a new Twitter thing. Tell them how many followers you lost. I don't think that really matters much. You know, everybody has lost followers. I've regained whatever followers I lost, so I'm good. I'm good, Yusuf. Thank you. So let's see. What do I have here? And there was this other thing, Elon Musk saying, did you know that Apple puts a secret 30%? I don't know why I want him to sound like Trump, because he's stupid like that. Or let me see. Can I do another voice? Oh, did you know that Apple puts a... There it is. This is obnoxious voice. Did you know that Apple puts a secret 30% tax on everything you buy through their app store? that's Elon. Yeah. So apparently, Apple takes a 30% tax from app developers who make over $1 million through the App Store. So I don't know. He's trying to present that as, you know, this is what Apple is doing to the little guy. But I don't know any little guys that get $1 million taken from them. You know, like, that's unfathomable. I don't have $1 million that you could take from me, you know. So 30% from app developers who make over $1 million through the App Store on an annual basis. That's a lot, I'm sure. It's a lot, but, you know, those are rich people problems, I think. It's rich people problems. And this is, look, Purple says, but he's charging people on Twitter. Indeed. Oh, and Ellie says he got fact-checked on that. I did not see the fact-check. So that's interesting. Anyway, shortly thereafter, he declared that if it's war they want, it's war they'll get. I'm so clever. The dude lives like in a bubble where everybody like kisses his ass, they kiss his anus, and nobody like pushes back on how stupid he sounds or how stupid he acts. So that's where Elon is. And oh wait, that's not the end of it. he said if if uh if it comes down to it, that he'll just create, because he was posting about how Apple is against the freedom of speech, and if that's how they feel, then I'll just make my own Tesla phone. Tesla, really? Tesla phone? Yeah. What could possibly go wrong with the Tesla phone? I wonder. Anybody? Anybody? What could possibly go wrong? My phones would be brilliant. Jackass. So that's where things are right now. I'm still on Twitter. I'm not enjoying the tidal wave of vicious bots, because you know what? Here's the thing. I do tell people not to feed the trolls, not to engage with them, right? But if I'm being honest, right, I'm always looking through my replies. Why? Because I assume that there are people who legitimately want to engage in discourse, and I'm fine with that. I will politely engage with you if you give me the polite card, right? But if you want to come on like a jackass and want to like try to mix it up with me, I can't help myself sometimes, because it is time consuming. It is time consuming and energy consuming when you get the number of replies that I get. Sometimes I will spend half an hour going back and forth with people, and I guess that's the whole idea, right? They want to take you out of the game. They want to stop you from tweeting constructive, positive things and get you frustrated and build up whatever. So, yeah. Yes, Scott, like all of us. Indeed. And yeah, Yusuf, it's funny that he's whining about Apple on an iPhone. It is. I personally am an Android guy. I've been Android since it came out, I guess. I've never once had an iPhone, and I remember watching people stand online for hours and hours, sometimes, nighttime, till the store opens. Like, why? It's just a fucking phone. It's the phone. It's, you get it first. You get the extra special phone. It's just the same phone that the guy who walks in 3 weeks later is going to get. Rice Cassidy says, bots and trolls are energy vampires. I don't have time for that, Afro. I like that. Energy vampires. That's very clever. Yes. Foxhill Dream says, you had whipped cream fun, but was it Cool Whip? No. Was it Cool Whip? I had Cool Whip. Ken Gardner says, to be honest, he's only here for the free snacks. Whatever that means. Veronica Teller says she will never get an iPhone. I used to be kind of a little bit envious of the folks with the iPhone, because I do remember at one point, you guys with the iPhones, your pictures were freaking off the charts amazing. Those iPhone pictures, phenomenal. And at one point, I remember Scribble My Dibbles went to visit her one time, and she was taking pictures with her iPhone, and like it would also have like a 2 to 3 second preview, like in video. The picture was half picture, half video. It's amazing shit. Now, of course, Android does that, and Android is the shit. Aries Wanderer says Hubs had an iPhone. It sucked. Yeah. Well, anyway, I am I'm going to be on Twitter for the foreseeable future until the wheels fall off the bus. That's it. That's it. And then I'm already kind of situated on post. I don't post as much, obviously, as I do on Twitter. That's where I spend the bulk of my time. But when I want a break, when I want my eyes to see something that's not harmful to my soul, seriously, you guys should check it out if you get an opportunity to put yourself on the waiting list. And here's the thing, the guy who's the developer, his name is Noam something, Noam something. And he is very transparent with his process there. And he, I think once a day or a few times a day, he will post things to the people who are on the platform. And instead of, posting idiotic memes that, are offending half of your audience. No, this guy is saying, listen, this is what we're doing. And I'm getting your comments and your feedback, and I can appreciate you all are looking for dark mode on this and this suggestion and that suggestion. But he says, our focus right now is bringing as many people onto this platform as we possibly can. And that means we have to scale. And that is where 100% of our focus is right now. Because a lot of people are complaining, how come I'm still on the waiting list? They just can't take in like 50 million people in one shot. Their servers won't support it. They have to slowly build up to that level. So that's what they're doing. It's not like I'm not like a privileged guy. I remember when I first saw Horse Whisperer. Horse Whisperer had gotten his post invitation or whatever, and I was like, hey. I was like, hey, don't ask me. You don't ask Brooklyn that. I was a little butthurt over that. But, oh, yes, thank you, Bernadette. Thank you. I always forget to ask people to please mash the like button, mash it, act like it actually does help the show tremendously. If I can only remember to do that in the beginning, and then again in the middle, and then at the end, it can be good. Even if you're watching this after the fact, if you're what do they call that? The people who watch if you're watching a replay of this, do us a favor, hit the like button. Takes you 1 second. Click. Done. And if you hit the notification button, the bonus is anytime one of these things pops up, you'll get a notification. And usually by now, you guys know I am doing this show Monday nights at about 11 p.m. This is Late Night with BDD. Late Night with BDD. Okay, questions. You guys got questions for me? Hit me up. Ken Gardner says 30 out of 45 likes is very good. Keep up the fight, BDD. Thank you, Ken. Thank you very much for that. Hey, Purple 12334 says they voted today in Georgia. Let me just make a comment about the early vote. They are breaking records. They're breaking records in Georgia. As of today, the amount of people who have early voted is somewhere around over 200,000. Hey, Veronica Tello, thank you very much for that kind donation. Thank you for that. So yeah, I am very hopeful about Georgia. Someone on a tweet earlier today asks me, well, how do you know? Why are you just assuming that those are all Democrats? I'm not assuming that they're all Democrats, but what I do know is that a majority of the early vote was coming from Democratic areas. Yeah, so Democratic areas, Democratic votes. Aries Wanderer, my Thanksgiving was lovely. I can't complain about it at all. I just got to spend time with the fam. Our dinner was absolutely knocked out of the park, delicious. And I got to watch football with wifey, and she didn't have to beat my ass this week. Last week, wifey spanked me in fantasy football. I mean, I wasn't blown out. She did beat me. I think it was 137 to 112. So that's pretty much a beat down. Let's see. Cha-cha wants to know, what do I think about Arizona's mess? So there's a county in Arizona, Cochise. First of all, Maricopa County did vote to certify their votes. So whatever else everybody else is doing, that's their business. That's their business. But for all intents and purposes, Katie Hobbs is the new governor. She is the governor. And Carrie Lake is a Vaseline lens miss. So sorry, you gotta go. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get your ass out. And yeah, it is a damn shame that Arizona has so many unhinged people banging that drum. There was no fraud. The Secretary of State even said, well, the Secretary of State is Katie Hobbs. But anyway, other people aside from Katie Hobbs have said that it wasn't the perfect election, but it was safe and secure, and it was fair, and there was no fraud. Period. Period. With the T on the end. Period. That damn Alaskan wants to know what time is the Noel Kasler show. Thank you for that. It's going to be 5:30 p.m. 5:30 in the P of M Eastern Time. Eastern Time. Wednesday. Ken Gardner wants to know, has Herschel figured out where the mediocre air goes? That dude has said some batshit stuff on this. I totally forgot about the erection thing. He had Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham sitting on either side of him, and I guess that they're riding shotgun with him to make sure that he doesn't say any dumb shit like he did on live TV about an erection instead of election. He said erection. And, it just goes on and on. There was a really fantastic ad that came out against him. I tweeted about it, I think, last night. Very, very effective. It shows people, potentially voters, and it doesn't specify whether they're Democratic or Republican, but they're just voters, and they're watching him. They're watching clips of him and shaking their head like, what is he even saying? Really effective, very effective ad. You should check it out if you haven't already seen it. So in answer to your question, Ken, I don't think he's figured out where the mediocre air goes. Punxsutawney Mo says, saw a post that a county, I guess, in Pennsylvania didn't certify their vote. Well, that's got to be against the law. That's got to be. I know I saw someone else saying, they could try not to certify, but if they don't do it, they're going to be sued. And I know Mark Elias has already sued Cochise County, and I can't remember if he is already sued there's one other county that hasn't certified yet. Oh, and look at that. And Ellie is adding, and Republicans won the county. Crazy. Craziness. Oh my goodness, Cha-Cha, thank you so kindly for the kind donation. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, and thank you for this. Alaska Cindy saying, Ted had his hand up Herschel's ass, moving his mouth. Yusuf wants to know, why is MSNBC purging good people from the network? Are you talking about the Tiffany Cross thing? Because I definitely disagree with them getting rid of her. I thought she was top notch. She was very good at what she was doing Saturday mornings on that show. Indeed. I don't know why they're doing that. All right, you guys. I think my time have expired. I'm a little bit over an hour. I usually like to cut this at roughly an hour, which is shorter than some of my shows used to go. I used to run this thing like an hour, 45 minutes, almost 2 hours. That's too damn long. Anyway, guys, thank you so kindly for joining me for another episode of Late Night with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. And if you have not yet gotten your shot, get it. Do it. Do it. Do it now. Do it. And also, if you are so inclined, go ahead. Wear your mask. Keep your social distance 6 feet or better. And have a lovely, relaxing evening. I look forward to seeing you guys here Wednesday when I will be interviewing Noel Kasler, and he will spill what he knows about Trump and his diapers and his Adderall and all that other good stuff. So make sure you don't miss Wednesday's show. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. It's going to be good. And so, yeah, that's it. That's it. I love you all very much. Peace. Fox Hill Dreams saying, get that flu shot too. Hey. Cindy C says, have a great night, everyone. See you Wednesday. Punxsutawney Mo, I see you saying night yins guys. I now know what that means. I think, where did I learn that? Did I learn that from Jordy Mycelis? You thought I couldn't pronounce his name properly. Did I learn that from Jordy about yins? Yins is the same thing as use guys. Have fun decorating for Christmas. We were already set here. Wifey insisted upon that, like, I think it was November 5th or something. Ken Gardner, thank you, my friend. Thank you for subscribing to the show and the liking and the notifying. Thank you for that. And Bernadette, thank you too. Thank you for the kind words and the emojis. I was Captain Jordy. Okay, thank you, Scott. All right, you guys. Hey, there's LB Studio. There you are. I didn't see it earlier. All right, you guys. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because you know what time it is. You need to leave.